Howdy folks, it's Katie and Guardsman Gaming. We're covering a 1v1 on Road to Kharkov, new and improved, thank God. And we are seeing the game between Protogenic and Panzergrenadier Angreifen. And yeah, so let's get into this. Panzergrenadier Angreifen immediately locking in Osttroop Indoctrine. So what does that mean? It means probably a more MG heavy build because he'll have to compensate for the lack of firepower that Osttroopen have. At least I hope so, because I mean, it does allow, Osttroop and heavy build allows you to focus on MG42s and support weapons, which are really the strengths of the Wehrmacht faction. I mean, it does also mean you can skip building the Tier 1 building for the Wehrmacht, and allows you to be much more aggressive with your pioneers. In fact, we are seeing the exit point being wired off. That will be an interesting way to deal with fast harassment. We are seeing a tank trap built. This is a smart use of the tank trap. The tank trap does provide heavy cover, so that will be very good, especially when we are seeing wire be placed up to deny its usage to the enemy. It's good you can build these very easily when you have when you are capturing a big point like this. On smaller points like this, you can't do as solid a job, but on the big points, which, not big points, but the munitions points as opposed to territory points, like this one, it does mean it takes slightly longer to capture, so it does allow you to build a bit more. And not waste too much time. Riflemen engaging Osttroop. Osttroop securing the building. That means the Riflemen do not want to be anywhere near it. The Osttroop will actually win this engagement. Osttroop at longer range do have a higher capability of doing damage than Riflemen, especially when the Riflemen are dodging in and out of green cover. Ooh, we are seeing a flanking... Ooh, they're going for the cutoff point. They should meet a rifleman. No riflemans are around. Oh boy, this could be bad. Rear echelon might have to fall back and gamble. Yep, rear echelon will have to fall back. There is a rifleman on the field to engage, so it will be forced off, but it is too late. The cutoff point has been secured, and that will hold back Protogenic's economy. I mean, he's down to 7 fuel, 11 munitions versus 31 munitions, 26 fuel. So that's going to be a bit of a setback for him. Even the slightest delay in fuel will prove to be a problem. I would like to see the rifleman being more aggressive. He should have kept chasing with the rifleman. I mean, the rear echelon are there to cap it back. So, very interesting choice. Yeah, as we see, the Rifleman took way more damage than the Osttroop, and Osttroop will get into this building. A bit of a fallback. Not a very surprising occurrence. Going for a second Pioneer squad. Interesting choice, but I guess he wants to have that Flammenwerfer to clear out any urban buildings that the USF get into. I'd like to see the MG42 set up in this building. Yep, but ideally it needs to capture this building. I mean, this building has a blind spot here, but bear in mind that this has a massive blind spot here, so... I mean, he does have access to trenches later on, so capturing this building and putting a trench here, with maybe a Pioneer squad with Flamethrower to disencourage enemy rushing the blind spot, would be a very smart play if he wants to lock down the northern part of the map. Southern part of the map, though, is still anything goes territory. We are seeing a major push from Protogenic. Yes. If he can find a way, if Angreifen can find a way to secure this southern part of the map, that he'll put him in a very strong position if he can just hold the cutoff point or go for a harassment on the cutoff point while keeping this secure. I'd like to see the MG42 leapfrog from this building to this building while the while the Osttruppen hold it. Flamethrower equipped infantry should win this against the riflemen. They do have Schmeissers, and the Schmeisser MP40 is superior at close range. There's very big risks. Wow, they actually lost that. I'm actually quite surprised with that. The riflemen shouldn't have won that. Interesting. I guess they weren't using the directional cover correctly. They should have shifted around it, but to do that would have reduced their DPS. It was a hard choice. Really depends on the micro of Protogenic. But yeah, so Ungriffin is a bit on the back foot. He does have his northern flank very strong. He will be forced to move the MG42. I'm a bit surprised he hasn't opted for a second MG42 yet. We have got a medical bunker coming up at 5 minutes, probably before 5 minutes to be honest. Very smart. We are seeing the ambulance come out. Again, top tier players, it's indicative of a top tier player to get medical supplies by about 5 minutes. Because you want to reduce that manpower bleed as much as possible. We are seeing a 222 and it will be countered by the M20. It depends how smart the M20 is, but the 222 might get aggressive here. There is a rifle squad here. It's very close to veterancy. This could be bad. Oh boy, if he can get the snare off, he needs to snare and set up the 222. Oh god, he needs the snare. He needs to get the snare off. Oh no. Oh no, he doesn't get the snare. He doesn't go for the snare, actually. If he had gone the snare, he could have destroyed this 222, which would have put him at a considerable lead. So a bit of a misplay there from Protogenic. That's going to hold him back in the long term, because a 222 is superior in an average engagement. And we are seeing a Faust come out here. Interesting choice to Faust a M20 scout car. It will put... It kind of puts you a bit behind in munitions, and it didn't really give him any advantage. Bear in mind that unlike Grenadiers, Osttruppen do not scale well into the late game. But yes, we are seeing a 50 cal. The 50 cal will somewhat deal with the 222, depending on which building it's placed in and how supported it is. The M20 utility car will not be good against the 222 once the 222 starts to get veterancy. Once it gets to, I think, about veterancy 2, it outscales the scout car considerably. Scout car placing mines here. What the hell? When it's placing mines, does the 50 cal get disabled? Huh. Interesting. Interesting. The mines will probably get swept by the Minesweeper Pioneers. He's forced to retreat. He should be focusing firing on the sweeper infantry, because if the sweeper infantry reveal this, the 222 will just hammer it with his 20 centimeter cannon. 20 millimeter cannon. 2 centimeter cannon. Words. But yes, and that will force off the M20 scout car. It has got the skin I love. I love this skin. Oh, it's such a nice skin. I don't know why, but the black and white just... They make it look sharper, and it's really nice. I don't like this skin. That skin looks like vomit, to be honest. But yes, so we are seeing the rifleman engage the flamethrower, definitely winning this time, 2v1. Ooh, might even go down, but the MG42 does get the suppression. It's the importance of having solid MG coverage here. It can save units when you least expect, and that's why I'm a very big fan of the linebacker style of play. Mind you, Panzergrenadier Angriffen probably should grab a second one and throw it up north to deny the harassment. I don't know why he doesn't do this. He does have a Pak 40. I mean, against the M20 it might be useful, but the M20 does have the M2 smoke pods. It will cause a bit of munitions bleed, which is fine. Like, Protogenic needs to be careful with these, because the Fausts are a very real threat. He has now got a motorized company. He can always opt for some Panzer Grenadiers if he's feeling threatened. He did backtech, I believe, to a infantry company to get the Faust, and he's getting a mortar. Interesting choice. I disagree with it completely. I think an MG42 up here would be a much smarter choice, to be completely honest, but we are seeing a very aggressive playstyle from Protogenic, spreading his infantry out and really exploiting his MG, keeping it very strong. I mean, the 222 is still up, however. It's down south, but it can't be everywhere at once. And where the 222 isn't, the Rifleman and MG are. And they're very much playing an aggressive game. He needs to fall back and try and kite the Osttruppen into the MG42. The mortar will deny the Americans use of the cover. But the thing is, without this point being recaptured by Angriffen, the American player, Protogenic, is going to be in a very strong position. He's going to be cutting off the German fuel, and he's going to be capturing the German fuel, which is putting him in a very solid position. I'd like to see where he goes. He goes into a Captain Stewart play. Very interesting choice here. He really wants to keep this aggression up. This is a risky play here. He will get Fausted. Wait, what? It charged him for the Faust, but he didn't shoot the Faust. That's a bit of a bug there, Relic. But these riflemen could very much go down. They need to retreat. They need to get out of there. And now that this vehicle is in a very, very strong position, he might be able to do it. But no, just kidding. The Pak-40 was rotated in, and that will be a dead M20 Scout car. But lag comes to add to the tension. There goes the M20 Scout car. Vet 3, Skudov 222. That was a very solid rotation there. And that actually, yeah, that's very good. Pak-40, not usually a good choice against a utility car. In this case, it worked out very well because it was backed up by the 222. And the 222 kind of baited in the utility car. The utility car should have popped smoke and tried to escape. But I guess Protogenic just didn't cross his mind. He might be suffering a bit of fatigue, but fatigue at 11 minutes in is a bit strange. Cancelling the minefield. But yeah, we are seeing a captain on the field. The captain will be able to dissuade the 222 from making risky plays, but he has lost a rifleman squad. Bear that in mind. He's a rifleman squad behind. Meanwhile, I don't think Angriffen has lost any units. He's floating a bit of manpower, though. I'd like to see it invested into another MG, and maybe even consider teching up to Battle Phase 2. But another MG to permanently place in one of these buildings, preferably this one or this one, needs to happen. It would deny the harassment on his flank until the Stuart comes out, and even then the Stuart can be damaged by AP rounds. So I'd actually consider dropping this MG42, Vet 1 MG42 in this building, and getting another one just to provide you a linebacker down south. 222 coming in. Captain should force it off. There is no rifleman in a position to snare. But yeah, that 222 is effectively neutered. Riflemen are making a major push. Are the Pioneers going for the garrison? They're going to try, but they're going to be caught out by the riflemen. They should be focusing the flamethrower on the garrisoned rifleman. He might lose the... Yeah, he does. That was a bit of a microfail. What was he paying attention to? Oh, he also lost his AT gun. Yeah, what was he paying attention to? I'd really like to know. That was a critical and crucial misplay from Angriffen. That's put him 2 squads behind. In real terms, actually 1 squad behind, because we have seen a rifleman be lost by Protogenic. He hasn't really bothered to replace it yet, though he has the manpower to. It's a very interesting decision there from Angriffen to just keep the Pioneers there. I'm hoping that was a bit of a lapse in concentration. Oh boy. But yeah, how many kills is this? The Stuart's only got 1 kill. Pak-40 has been reclaimed. It needs to be careful. MG will get caught out by the armor-piercing MG42. He needs to get that squad out of there, otherwise the wipe for wipe will be even. Yeah, retreating in the reload time. He's reloading his normal rounds, unloading the AP rounds. I really wish AP rounds would be a toggleable ability, but have some disadvantages to it, much like the Sherman AP ammo. I'd prefer that, to be completely honest, than having it be a activated ability. Like, maybe having shorter range and no suppression, but more damage, or less suppression, but more damage would be nice. I don't know, pipe dreaming here. I mean, there's nothing wrong with how it works now, I guess, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but 15 munitions is a pretty cheap ability, considering it melts enemy infantry and armor, and suppresses them just as much, so I don't know. Stuart is going in for some harassments. It's forcing the rotation of the Pak-40. The thing is with engaging with a Pak-40 at max range is unless you really have Grenadiers or Austrian to support it, the Stuart can get out of there, and the Stuart is very fast, and it easily traverses backwards at really fast speeds. Yeah, it's quite crazy, actually, how fast it rotates. Meanwhile, I forgot to mention doctrines. We have accuracy improvement, Osttruppen are harder to hit, which is definitely contributing to their usefulness, and the 4% faster reload speed on the Pack 40, which is already a very fast reloading gun. Meanwhile, on the USF, we've got reload faster, accuracy, and 2% faster cooldown between shots, and reload 2% faster, which means he's reloading 5% faster. Not particularly a great bonus. I prefer the 9% accuracy, 3% accuracy. I wish you could actually stack that up. I don't think it drops, though. I think it's the base, so I don't think you can get 3 recruit trading infantries. I think it's impossible for it to drop, which is a shame, because 9% extra accuracy would be quite nice. The 222 is getting a bit aggressive here. He's trying to bait the Stuart in, and it might actually succeed here. Ooh, he's trying to. 50 cal is facing the wrong way. He might lose his support weapons here because of this. And he might even lose his Stuart. He needs to be very careful here. He's in a very poor position. Yeah, he's been forced back badly. And he will lose this. I'm near certain of it. Unless the 50 cal is very lucky, no. 50 cal taking a break from pausing. I actually would say that machine gun firing faster between cooldown is more important, to be honest, than the rifleman one. Yeah.
A capture point is under attack.
I think USF really does need a few more bulletins. Their bulletins all seem to be very generic. We do see frag grenades coming out. I never have any objections to frag grenades. Though it is a short-term investment, I hope we are seeing upgrades. Yeah, we have seen the BAR being unlocked. Oh boy, he needs to get out of there. Retreating is preferable to losing your units, especially after you lose your your Pack Howie. Bearing in mind, he is actually now a unit behind because, remember, he's lost his M20. So, we are seeing, actually, on the whole, Panzer Grenadier Angriffen being 1 unit ahead. My initial maths was wrong. We are seeing Panzer Grenadiers upgraded with the glorious 2x RBP whatever. I think it's Raketenpanzerbusch or whatever. It's the Panzerschreck. Everybody knows it as the Panzerschreck. So double Schreck squad will synergize quite nicely with the Pack 40 and will allow a much more aggressive playstyle from the German army. This captain is not having much luck. He always gets it so low, but without the rifleman snares, he's not doing too well. So where are we standing at? Well, we are seeing Protogenic forced back onto the defensive. He's lost quite a fair amount of squads, and he does not have the infantry advantage. He's got 3 squads. 2 of them can be geared towards anti-infantry. Finally getting the BAR, so they'll start to scale much better now against the Osttruppen. The Osttruppen, though, are at Vet 3. Riflemen are very hard to get to Vet 3 now because apparently they were overpowered at Vet 3 before. I don't know how they were overpowered at Vet 3, but they were. So now they're very hard to get to Vet 3, needing a few more kills. At least compared to where they were before. Stuart engaging at long range MG42. No AP ammo, so this is really no threat for the Stuart. Stuart now veterancy level 2. Does that mean no? No, the veterancy level 3 is where it becomes a master scout. Rifleman shifting over, almost landing the the Stuart into the Iron Grave. The words. I don't know what I'm talking about right now. I'm not gonna lie, I've been casting so many games today. I am suffering from casting fatigue. Trench coming out, not a very bad idea. He needs some MGs. I mean, both players are floating badly when it comes to manpower. I'd like to see Protogenic get another rifleman squad. He needs a rifleman. I mean, he does. He is in a position to get an M10, which is very good. He should grab the M10. I mean, the thing is, he's on 200 fuel. When you're on 200 fuel and the map's been spread relatively evenly for most of the game, it's time to consider that your opponent is getting armor, which Panzergrenadier has. So an M10, just as a temporary stopgap, should have been gotten preemptively to just scare it off so he doesn't lose any field presence. He might lose a bit of field presence now. It depends how fast the M10 can get to the front lines. Oh, he doesn't have the sexy skin for the M10. But yeah, so his rifleman is forced off. He's got a rifleman here. They will be forced off by the 222, I hope. Ooh, glorious M10 of freedom and democracy. Glorious. Building goes down to the 222. Stuart engaging the MG on the southern flank. MG has not loaded AP rounds, so it will pose zero threat effectively to the glorious Stuart tank. Yeah, he needs another rifleman squad, I think. Protogenic would very much benefit from a third rifleman squad. I mean, you really want to aim for about 3 to 4 rifleman squads. I mean, if you're going for a lieutenant, 3 is fine, but... And he has, so three riflemen is definitely something I wouldn't be disappointed in seeing. Either that or you could grab a second machine gun and place it in one of these buildings. A machine gun backed up by an AT gun would do fine, I think, at least holding until the M10s can arrive and the remainder of the force can arrive. And I think he really would just benefit from holding the VPs. Lock down the VPs and win, really. I think anything else is really just quite unnecessary. Oh boy. Poor Ostrupen. The Germans hate Ostrupen so much they've not even given them helmets. My god, that guy was moving in slow motion. It's like he was in an art house film. My lord. Anyway, so... There's the third rifleman coming out. It needed to happen because we are seeing much more infantry from the German player. Another MG42 is needed though, I think, just to help him maintain control of the map. Ostrupen can't really do much. And he's got the Panzer IV, which can scare off the Stuart. If he has an MG42 on each side, like on this map, having 2 MGs is advisable. Not where you want the M10. The M10 does not like being on the front lines. We have seen the M1 AT gun. I wouldn't mind seeing the M10 go back into Kite. MG42 is now a Vet 3 behemoth of firepower. These shells are hitting really close and doing nothing to it. Well, not nothing, but yeah, it's not doing too much. Hey, we are seeing the M4 Sherman bulldozer on the field, sir. Yeah, I actually love the bullshit dozer. It will either instantly wipe squads out or do nothing at all. So, I love it. I'm a big fan of the bulldozer. I like seeing it used, and really, a lot of players forget that it can create heavy cover barricades, which are very useful. And freedom and democracy has been lobbed in the form of a 75mm high explosive shell. The M5 Stuart is roaming around the battlefield. It will be caught out by the pack gun here. The Stuart does not have smoke, as we well know. Yeah, he's lost it. He tried to do some something smart there, but sadly, nope. Lieutenant will be lost here. I'm certain of it. Come on, 222. Oh, 222, you are a disappointment to Zerike. Oh boy. Panzergrenadiers will be chased off. I think they'll escape. Bullshit dozer missing. Yeah, Panzergrenadiers escape. I mean, we are seeing America reach its critical mass when it comes to infantry. The Stuart being lost was a bit of a disappointment. Hopefully he switched out the crews. Yes, I think he did, yeah. He switched out the Stuart crew and put it in the bullshit dozer of freedom. Very good. A 50 cal would not be a bad upgrade for the bulldozer. The 240mm artillery barrage is not going to be too useful for him, I reckon, so there's no point saving up. I mean, it might be good for a critical play, a clutch play, but honestly, I don't foresee that being an issue right now. So the Panzer IVs are moving up. They're going for a top of the map attack. And it's pretty open here-ish, so he needs to be wary on his flank. Pat Gun is in the back lines, very smartly forcing back the M4 Sherman. But we are seeing the M10 in a great position to harass the Panzer IV. American forces are just having... There's just a fight going on across the entire width of the map. This is very risky. The bullshit dozer will almost wipe that squad. Oh my lord. But he is receiving a lot of shots. We are seeing double packs. So we are seeing the crazy packs of Liberty and Democracy smack down 240mm rounds on those packs. Packs are moving up. I don't know why they're moving up. And I should be trying to get over this way, but they're going to be caught out. And there goes the 222, the AT gun, I think. Nope. Nope, just kidding. The M10 lands that kill, so... And a gun is decrewed. This is not a good position for Panzergrenadier Angreifen. He almost got control of the game, but I think it might be too little too late, because the M4 Sherman has been replaced now. He may actually lose this AT gun again. He cannot afford to lose these AT guns. He'll need it to deal with the American armor, which is now starting to reach a critical mass. It's starting to get to that point where it can push through. The bulldozer will be able to deal with one lone AT gun. As long as it fires on the right target. Nope, it fires on the engineers. That's gotten rid of the engineers. Yep, no engineers left of Angreifen. There's the American freedom charge going through. We are seeing the M10 down to like almost no health, but there is the AT gun in a position to protect. AT gun knocks out the Panzer IV. That is game. There is no recovery. I mean, there is another Panzer IV over here. I thought I saw it ricochet, but I think I must be drunk. Panzer IV here might be able to knock off the Sherman, but I mean, he lost too much infantry. We are seeing the American riflemen rotate. There is a captured pack gun. It will be snared, and once it's snared, this pack gun will pick it off if this gun does not. Yeah, hell, another rifle grenade could potentially pick it off, I think. Not enough veterans here on this rifle squad. But yeah, recrewing this gun would actually not be a terrible idea. Oh, but we have bazookas. Never mind. Bazookas should stop and fire. I don't know what they were doing. But yes, Panzer IV knocked out. I mean, we are just seeing what happens when a player goes full ham on the American liberty and democracy here. That was just a very aggressive play from Protogenic. It could have gone either way, really. It depended really on how the players moved, but that 240mm barrage actually forced. I mentioned that it's pretty much only useful in super vital plays. And that was a super vital play. If he was allowed to pull back the Pak-40s this way, they couldn't have been caught out. They couldn't have eliminated one of the guns to really allow that massive attack. And because there was no German MG42 linebacker, I just want to point out he didn't have that MG42 in a position. It was down here. The support weapons were down here. Because he didn't have one here, the American rifleman could just liberty charge, freedom charge the ever-loving shit out of that tank and AT gun, clear it off, and it just left Panzergrenadier in a very poor position. And it was a gamble. What he did was a gamble, and it didn't pay off. And he needed to make that gamble. The thing is, Panzergrenadier needed to make an aggressive play, so he was kind of forced to do that. But in the end, it was too little too late, and he didn't really have the units he needed to make that aggressive play work. Yeah. What I would say done differently is simply just grab maybe more MG42s. When you go Osttruppen doctrine, MG42s kind of provide the line backing against USF. Osttruppen aren't as strong against USF as they are against a faction like the Soviets or the British especially. The Austrian against the British can be very hard for the Brits to deal with, but against America, not so much, because America usually goes infantry heavy in the early game with very powerful, like riflemen are a very powerful infantry unit. So, bit of a misplay there. Protogenic, I think, played very, very well. I mean, I'm sure I actually mentioned something he did wrong, but in the post-game roundup, he won so strongly at the end that I think I can forgive most of his misplays. The M10, he got it a bit late, but even then, I mean, luckily for him, Angriffen wasn't very aggressive. He played very conservatively and never really took advantage of the fact his Panzer IV was in a very strong position, and it really allowed Protogenic to really use his M10s exceptionally well. Yeah, I mean, what else can I say? He won by smashing the ever-loving crap out of all of Panzergrenadier Angriffen's units. I mean, ending the game, he had almost nothing. 2 Ostrip and a Panzergrenadier squad. I actually don't think that's a Panzergrenadier squad. No, it is. It is. I thought it was like retreating off a infantry support weapon, but no, it is actually a Panzergrenadier squad and a Pioneer squad. So, very strong win from Protogenic at the end there. Massive, massive win. Yeah, I feel a bit bad for Angriffen. He couldn't really compete once Protogenic got aggressive. Anyway, guys, that's the video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't hesitate to like and subscribe. I make shoutcasts and occasionally do review content. I recently did a Age of Charlemagne Total War Attila review, and that's available on the channel if you're interested in that sort of stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I will see you guys on my next video. Until then, goodbye.